Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Well, CPI came out this morning and it almost seemed as if all of the algorithms had been reprogrammed, because the second it hit the tape, the millisecond it hit the tape, the market jumped 100. And it just kind of went from there. So it was that type of a day. And then again, seeing that it's Wednesday, volatility, VIX had an expiration, volatility had expiration. Once it was complete, there was a great big whoosh kind of in the market in terms of get back into doing what they were doing, which was to sell the VIX and buy underlying volatility. And that's really what then took place for the balance of the day. And we're seeing it come at the end of several types of cycles, one being an expiration cycle. And it just kind of pushed itself and got truly up to that high at 18,709. Very interesting. Hit it, backed off, and set just below it, like looking at this big peak. So what I'm going to also start to do is that I'm going to be likely just changing the title of the update, but I will continue to use Elliott Wave, but I'm thinking of just moving down, and I'm going to focus on this period of time. I'm counting the 3, the 4, and we're in that minor 5. So this is my area of interest and the numbers associated with this area of interest. And so I don't at this point want to start referencing the larger picture, because this is what we got to deal with. And if you're a trader, you're going to appreciate the information. So starting here with the NASDAQ, I'm on the 4-hour chart. No changes. We're coming up off of a minor 4th wave and still within it, and still within the minute 3rd wave. So again, minor 5 will consist of 5 waves of minute degree. We have 1 and 2 complete. We're inside the 3rd. And within it, I've been looking for the finishing move, which would be a minuet 5th wave. But this is where the market then decided to take off. So the 5th wave, and within it, the 3rd wave extended. And that's what we saw today. So it kind of went through all of the resistance points. And what I've done is I've come out with the 3 and the 4, 4 being yesterday's PPI reaction, and then 5 coming in here. And it is subdividing. So we have 1, 2, and then maybe 1, 2, and this is 3, 4, 5 for one of that, a larger 5. And so I then drew another marker to find where this could finish off. And so I'm coming up with, and that would actually be just this move here. So there's still a little bit upside, and then another down, another up before I think we get to the 5. So we can have, these are the levels now on basis on the 4-hour chart coming up off of here. And I'll break this down and I'll be able to take a look at what happens if it comes off from here. So, but right now I'm looking at that the market will continue to move higher, and we have 18,731 and then 18,826. Both of which, of course, are over 18,709. And so I think that one of these will be completing this minute 3rd wave, and then we're going to pull back in a 4th wave. Not sure on levels, because I need to get that top in first, and then I can mark it. But then beyond that, I think we do need to consider these levels coming into play at some point, because we're just finishing the minute 3. We have a minute 4 to do coming down, and then a minute 5. And that pulls us definitely into this upper resistance cluster. So, and they're Fibonacci. So it's a Fibonacci resistance cluster. And I'll be looking at, so these to maybe finish up that 3rd, and then we come down in a 4, and then we come back, and we'll have 18,980 to 19,160, 170 up here at the top. And that's all within the framework of that larger move being a primary B wave. And that's where this one comes in, that the green marker. Above that, we continue to have levels all the way up to 20,000, and those would be related to the minute third wave. So once that minute three is complete, then much of this will disappear. But right now they stay in because wave three can extend yet again one more time. So the minute three will extend again one more time. And so that would be that. And I'm going to bring it down to the 1 hour so we can look inside here to see what this looks like. So we're going to go from, again, there's the 3, there's the 4 right there. And so this really starts 1, 2, 1, 2. Or I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1, and then 2, and then we're going. So we don't really have that 4 yet, because if I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I have to do this one. And so this 2 then over to the 4, which is not in place yet. So these are kind of based on that this was the 1 up to here, and then it kind of was to come over. This was 4, and then we had additional. So, and I'm going to go down one more time to the 15-minute chart and clean that up a little bit. Again, there's the 4. And here we are down and looking below. Yeah, I was looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this 5. So bringing it up to here, 1, 2, even I go 3, and then this is an outside 4, and then we're doing the final, this 5th of the 5. So minuet 5, and inside we're looking that we're inside that 5th wave. So that's why I'm going to be looking here and here to complete that minute third, and then we're going to come down. And so where you're going to run your fibs for that 4th wave will be from here. And we're going to do just retracements. And let's just take a look of, this is kind of a guesstimate because I don't have those levels yet, certainly don't have that top. But let's say we're going to use 731. And that didn't do it. So let me change that. Activate and go up. I have it on anchor, so it's going to constantly try to anchor itself. All right, so this would be 236 is 18,400, and 0.382 is 18,192 or 190. So that's from wherever we end up, and that would just be a 4, and then we're going to go again. So time-wise, yes, it all fits, because I think that we can reach up to the top. We do the wave 4, which would be looking like a rejection of the high. But it's actually going to end up, and it'll come careening down, because this is, see how hard it rallied? So there's nothing in there. That's why it's like, you'll hear me call this type like a black hole. So if it drops into it, it's going to just drop. It'll go quick. It should. It wasn't purchased where there's support. So again, I'm looking for that. And we could get that tomorrow, which puts that expiration, the May expiration, which is where I think they'll really start to do some to get rid of some of this volatility in the underlying. And the only way they're going to do it is people have to cover the shorts in the VIX. Got to pay, got to sell. So we'll see how this all plays out. Moving averages on the hourly, you can see them. They're beautiful. Look at the hourly. Hourly 200 is just coasting higher. Now, being that this is the bigger boat, yep, it'll go flat. If this dropped all the way down to this level, this will go flat. Absolutely flat. But that's what it'll take just to get it to go flat. The others will turn and follow and start to head lower. And then we'll get one more. All right, over in the S&P, it really is the same story. I'm going to come out and go back to that 4-hour chart. Again, what I'm looking at is just from the top of minor 3, that's minor 4 down here. And then we've got 1, 2, minute, and then we've got minute 3, still in progress. We're down to that same 4th wave, which was yesterday's PPI reaction. And now we're in 1, 2, and this is likely 3. We got a little 4 maybe to do, and then we're going to come back up on a 5, 53.43. Then you have to really include it all the way up to 53.50, but I don't think, maybe it doesn't break at this time. Basis the SPX, that call wall shifted from 5,200 to 5,300, and it did it very easily and very smoothly before we even noticed. But there it sat. the SPX closed above that level, so its strength is now questioned. Is it going to shift again? Would be my next question. There's a possibility they just shift it and move it right up to 5,400 if they're not satisfied with where they think May expiration is going to end up, and they might just shift it higher. In any case, here in the S&P, if I'm looking at this, I'm going to start coming down. I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart, and then we got the 1, 2, and the 3. So we're going to open it up here so we can look at this. So there's the 3, there's the 4. That's the PPI reaction from yesterday. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say this is 1. Same as in the NASDAQ, and this is a 2, same as in the NASDAQ. Otherwise, you're doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 3, 4, 5, a 3, 4, 5. So you could get something like that as well. You can do a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first 3, and then a 4 and a 5. That's the second 3, and a 4 and a 5 to complete it. Now, I got to tell you, these are the levels. So easier, I believe, just to kind of count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And then we're into the 3, which also would still continue to suggest it's likely going to get up here. So I think once the options flow produces these breaks and the shift in where we're thinking the market can go in a period of time. And right now, when you're dealing with the options, you're dealing with what they move forward. And particularly when JP Morgan jumps into action and they're moving forward their call wall and their put wall to go for the next quarter. So that's kind of how a lot of this stuff gets gauged around. And that, I believe, does not show up until the end of June. So it'll be June expiration or the final expiration in June, where they'll flip it and take it out to September. So for right now, the month of May is normally a down month. So a lot of that is based on that. Right now, that is not being the case. And what we're seeing is, again, a big, strong push with actually purchasing calls. And now that's really increased dramatically for Friday's expiration. So a lot can really happen between now and Friday in either direction. They push hard enough and they don't find sellers. So that's the other thing. The volumes can be really light. And then when somebody comes in with a sizable order, either way, suddenly you get this bounce really strong and then or a drop real quick and it just bounces right back. So as long as that the volume is kind of like wacky, you're going to get a lot of these types of moves. And it was very geared towards selling the VIX, selling volatility and buying underlying volatility. And so that did take place very hard today. And SMCI and NVIDIA just kind of like through the roof. So with that shift and with all that money coming back in, it gets into the indexes, it gets into the spiders, it gets into everything because that's all in play. Now, looking at the Fibonacci on this, if we're dealing with it being a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and we get a little 4 and then 5 for wave 3, and then a 4 and a 5 for wave 5 of 3. So you follow that? Here's the minuet 4 as a part of this minute wave 3. So I'm kind of still looking for inside the internals for that minuet wave 5. I'm looking for completion of this internal 3, which I might be getting. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, a little 4. So maybe that gets up to 53.43, but actually it just needs to get itself above 53.37. So 53.37 to 40 comes back down in another 4, comes back up in a 5, and that should then complete this other third. So again, 53.43.44 to 53.65, I'm going to call it. And you can go 60 to 65, even a little bit higher if need be, because it's going to depend on what comes next. So what that rejection may or may not show us. Ultimately, I think because we're just looking at the minute third here, and then above that, we would have a minute 4 and then a minute wave 5, and that might be into here. And we do have some additional levels that take us up into here, and this being the C wave. So, yeah, that's the bigger picture, and I promise that I'm going to try not to talk about it, but there it sits. Not necessarily has to be expected, but there it sits. This one goes with the minuet 5. And that's on a real blast. It's already, could it be extending pretty steadily here, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. For tomorrow, overnight, look for that little bit of a pullback. No, come on. Sorry. We'll try that one more time. And we're going to go way into here. There we go. 3, 4, and then we got this guy. So I'm going to just look for that little bit of a pullback, a rise up, another pullback, and a finishing move. Okay, moving averages. Here also very nice. There's the 13, there's the 20, there's the 50, there's the 200, all starting to crest higher. I can move this out and look at the 4-hour chart. Again, bringing it into here. And now all still very nice. Crossing over, still picking up the steam, and today did contribute. Low volume or not, it did contribute, and you can see that you got the 13s going pretty vertical, as is the 20 now, going to go vertical. They're going to stay parabolic, that's what we're going to get. And it makes it harder to take, as a day trader, and you're trading off even swing trader, trading off a 4-hour, it makes it more difficult to take the trade because they're so far away from these moving averages. That as well. All right, so that's where I'm going to end it for as far as analysis. Let's take a look to see what we got tomorrow in terms of numbers. So we have initial jobless claims, Philly Fed, housing starts, import prices, industrial production, and capacity utilization. All of that between 8:30 a.m. and 9:15 a.m. Eastern. And then we have 1, 2, 3 Fed officials out speaking. All right, so the next update will be on Thursday, May the 16th.